HVAC. The guys just finished the first day here, so they've got all the material here. They've started putting all of the ductwork up. So the furnace, this is in the mechanical room. So the furnace or the air handler will be in this area. So this is the supply trunk. And so it runs that way. And then there'll be another section that runs this way to feed that section of the house. This section goes through here, through the bathroom. Some takeoffs here for the closet and bathroom over in that section. And then it turns the corner here, comes through these two bedrooms, and some more takeoffs here for this bedroom in the basement here. And then it runs down there, turns the corner, and then we'll come out into the main space here and feed a bunch of the, well, so you can see some of the holes are already cut there for where the vents go. So there. So they're starting to do the takeoffs there for that section there. And yeah, so it's looking good. So finally, something that we're not working on. So I didn't want to film and get in the way, but maybe I'll be able to film more tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, so far so good. Got all of the supply holes cut open here for upstairs. You can see supply there, supply. Not sure where it's going in this room yet, but when they get the supply over here, that'll be there. Return air. So it was a bit of a challenge working with them in terms of finding the location where to put everything, because we have a steel beam that runs along here. We have a steel beam, a flush beam that runs along there. So the only way we could get ductwork is below here, and then it'll be like a takeoff boot, and then it'll jump up in the joist space, run across, and then feed upstairs. So we'll have the main ductwork will come across here, and so we'll just have to box that in. Yeah, it's just, it is what it is, depending on how the framing is. And like this is a load-bearing wall here, so that's why they have to jump on that side of it, because we didn't want to see the ductwork in the main space here. I'd rather hide it in the bedrooms and in the closets, so it won't be as noticeable. So in here, for example, like, yeah, you see the ductwork here, but we'll box that in, and then there's going to be a closet in this area. So this section will all be boxed in, hidden with the closet. So I think this is the best for this case. Same with this bedroom. Again, the closet along the wall, so this will all be hidden inside of the closet. And we've got tons of height here, so easily be able to put a rod up high for long hanging stuff and not interfere with the ductwork. So again, that'll all get boxed in, so you won't even see it. And then that way, this space, especially when you come down the stairs, the last thing you want to see is that big bulkhead right there, because not only is the supply there, the return ductwork will be there. So it will be wider here. So it'll basically be double the width here, because then there's a return coming in this section here too. So rather have that in the bedroom than in the main space here, because as I say, you want to come down the stairs and you don't want to just see this big bulkhead here. although we're going to see this one across the front, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, so far so good. So hopefully get a big chunk of it done tomorrow as well. And yeah, looking good. So far so good. We're making progress, so it's nice to be able to get this HVAC stuff done. And finally something Catherine and I aren't working on. So we've got our hands full with other things. Here we are on the main floor. So here's the supply right by the front door. As you walk in here, so you turn the corner, in here's the laundry room. So there's a supply under the window. And in the bathroom here, there'll be a supply. Oh, yeah, there it is, right there. Supply there. So it's nice. They cut the hole open, but then they screw that down so nobody steps or hurts themselves falling in the hole, so to speak. So put that there for now. Coming out of the bathroom into the hallway here, so this is return. So return air there. Into the kitchen, so there'll be a supply over in the toe kick. One over here. So supply here, that we'll have some cabinetry that I'm going to build, and so we'll have that in the toe kick there as well. One here beside the door and the window here, and then another one on this side. So walking into the great room, so there's a supply there. One over here and one there, so 3 supplies for that area. Return in this section, so this will go up high, up as high as we can get it, just below the stud, so it'll pull any of the hot air up top here in the cathedral ceiling. Walking into the bedroom in here, so return. So you can see how high that one is. So that return grill will be way up there. So that's 17 feet. So that'll get any of the hot air up there. Supply in the closet here. And yeah, this is, we gotta close that up. We decided to put it over here instead of that one. This one is for the bathroom. So supply over here. Originally we were talking about putting it here, but I'd rather put it over here between the shower and the toilet. That way it's a little more hidden out of the way, instead of right here in front of the window, where especially with the vanity right here, figured you'd be walking on that. So moving on to the bedroom here, so a couple of supply here, one on this side of the door, one on this side of the door, and so yeah, that's it for upstairs here. So pretty straightforward. A lot of the, well, 90% of the work is all done from the basement, with all the duct work and feeding all of these supply and return. So, okay, here's an update on the HVAC. The guys have been working over the last couple weeks, and so here's the air handler installed. So this will blow the hot air or cold air depending on the season. This is the supply trunk, so it branches off and goes out here for this half of the house, and then the other supply section goes out and turns around over there for that half. This is the return air, so they'll connect this and basically return air comes through, gets heated or cooled depending on the season, and then blown out the supply sections here. So they got all the supply, main supply here done. A couple of branch circuits still need to be piped in here. Some of the return sections are complete here. Here this supply runs down here and then jumps into these rooms here. So it will feed upstairs and then down here in this bedroom. So yeah, the other side here is the other supply section comes off of the main trunk there, makes a 90 turn here, comes across here through these bedrooms, and again it'll feed out upstairs and downstairs for these sections, and then it feeds out into the main room here. And unfortunate with this being a load-bearing wall and then the steel beams, we've got like a triple LVL here and the steel beam over here. So this is what we came up with in terms of coming through the wall here and then getting up as tight as we can to the joists. You do need to leave about an inch gap so that it doesn't vibrate and things like that. But then the rest of the supply trunks will feed up into the spaces upstairs, and then these are for down here in this lower level. So still a bit more piping to do here, but yeah, it's looking good so far. Here's the heat pump, so that'll go outside. I poured a concrete pad outside, so I'll show you that. So that's where this will get mounted. So still a bunch of work to be done in terms of that. Hopefully today's Sunday, so hopefully the guys will finish this week coming up. And so here's all the other fittings and parts and pieces, and so yeah, it's coming along, looking good. Okay, here's an update on the plumbing. So plumber's been busy the last few days. So we've got this is the washroom off of the main hallway here. So here's the front door. You come in the front door, and the first bathroom here. So we've got it'll be a shower, big shower across the back there. Then the toilet. There's the flange for the toilet, and then the sink. So he's got all the piping here for the drain and the vent. So from the toilet, or sorry, from the vanity, they'll eventually have a P-trap in here, and then the vent carries across, picks up the vent from the toilet, and again goes up through, and eventually up through to the ceiling and through the roof. So so there's that. This other pipe carries up. So lots of venting. You'd be surprised how much venting there is in terms of plumbing stacks. And all of that ensures that the water drains properly in your sinks and toilets and doesn't gurgle and things like that. So in here's the, this is the laundry room. So I built a little knee wall here so that we can put the washer. So the washer and dryer will go here, and so this way we can have the washer box with the pipe the drain and the two water pipes, hot and cold, in here, and not basically have it on the exterior wall. This way it'll all get insulated in this 2x6 space, and then the actual piping will be in the 2x4, and eventually we'll have the counter height right across here, so you have your washer and dryer here, and then a sink over here, and then it'll all be covered with the countertop. So this is a great way to ensure that your pipes aren't really on the exterior walls and potentially freezing in the winter. So yeah, he's got a little bit more, so you can see the pipe up there. So that'll eventually come down, and that'll do the venting for the washer and the sink here. Here's more venting coming across and drops down for the kitchen. So again, you can have the venting in the exterior wall, so you actually put it in front of the wall, and so after it gets drywalled, then this can be hidden in the back of the cabinet. So again, that just ensures that you're not compromising the load-bearing walls of the exterior with this 1.5-inch pipe. So that's one of the things the code requires. So yeah, that's that. Let's go over to the principal bedroom and the bathroom over here. So again, venting, you know, lots of venting for the drain. So venting here, so we'll have, eventually this will be the shower in this area. So we'll have a probably going with a linear drain across the one end. Then there's a toilet here, and then a double vanity sink here. So we'll have a double sink here. And so again, all of the piping for the vent goes up and up through the roof there. So that was the hole I drilled through the roof, and I'll put that in the video there. So that's that up here. So I'll take you downstairs and see what we've got in terms of plumbing progress down there. So okay, downstairs in the basement. So this was plumbed when we had the concrete floor done. So that's the toilet, the drain for the vanity, and then some venting for the toilet and the shower. The shower will go in here. There's a pipe down in here. So there's the drain. I just had this styrofoam in here so nobody would accidentally step in there. And then again, more venting coming up, picking up all of the other connections here, and he's got all of the drain from the master bathroom over here. So you can see all the piping here under. So this is all the vent and drain here. So the 3-inch pipe that picks up the toilet in the master bathroom, and then all of the additional venting and drain for the shower, and then these pipes pick up the drain for the double vanity up top there. So yeah, lots of piping. And then fighting for space between the HVAC ductwork and the plumbing stacks. So yeah, lots of fun. But I think Catherine was really excited when the plumber said, oh, we could cut this pipe back and install a toilet, so we could have some flushing toilet in here. Worst case, you can use a 5-gallon bucket to add water to the toilet, until we do have the water line pressurized and everything else. So that'll have to come later, but at least we'll have all of the plumbing, vent and drain set up so we can actually install a toilet. So maybe by the end of the week we'll have a toilet in here. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated on that. But yeah, I haven't really filmed any of this. I don't want to get in the way of the other trades working. So I'll kind of give you an update after the fact. Yeah, but it's looking good. So we'll check in with you later. Centered this way, and then it's pretty much centered that way.
Okay, is that gonna be centered on the bed? I think so. Yeah.
Close.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's why I wanted to take the laser out.
Well, I think it's pretty close, no?
So I think the other thing is, okay.
What?
I was gonna say, we're looking at it with the trusses in mind. We also have to look at it without the trusses in mind, just with drywall, like just with blank space.
Yeah?
What it's gonna look like, so, but yeah, okay. Do you have your little laser thing, measurer?
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor and can you measure the distance from there, to the two sides? Please? Are you gonna be able to do that from there? Like, I don't know, you might get interference.
Yeah, right. To where that?
Yeah, approximately there, that area.
98.
Okay, and the other way.
98.
Yeah, but where did you measure that to?
To the truss there. Basically that wall.
To the wall we built, because I didn't see the red dot on the wall. I saw
Well,
it.
no, it was the red dot on the truss that's running that way.
I saw it on the sunburnt.
Huh?
On that 2x4.
No, it was on,
The new wall that we built.
no, it was on this truss.
Okay, that's fine.
So,
So
I don't know.
98.
Yeah.
Are you lying to me?
No.
You've got a
Serious.
smile on your face, so that means you're not telling the truth.
No, it's true.
Please,
It
whatever.
was like 98 and a quarter, 98 and whatever, half,
Okay,
you know? Like it's there.
okay.
See, that's 98 and a half.
Uh-huh.
98 and a quarter. Okay?
Yeah, that's to the,
To the wall. It was to here. To that wall.
okay. Yep, okay, that works.
Huh?
Yep, and what about this way?
Yeah, well, it centered the peak here, right?
Mm-hmm. That doesn't matter, the peak there, we can't see that peak once the drywall's up,
Yeah,
right?
but that's the center point of in between these two, right?
Yeah,
Yeah? Right? Like to there, 40 and 3/4. To here, 40 and 3/4.
okay. All right.
Do you believe me?
Yeah.
Okay, quick update on the heating system that the guys have been busy working on the last few days. And so what we've got here is a Wiesmann boiler, which is 95% efficient, so very efficient. And what this will do is give us not only domestic hot water, but it also feeds our heating system. So one of the loops comes down and feeds the in-floor heating. So our manifold is here. We've got 6 zones all through the basement concrete floor. And the other set of loops, the inside loops, they go and feed the holding tank. So a Wiesmann holding tank, and that will provide us with all of the domestic hot water needs. And so yeah, it looks like a very cool system in terms of setup, and just the look of it looks really well done. Got our set of pumps up here, mixing valve. So yeah, it's quite the intricate build here. But so basically what it does is, so the hot water will come off of here, and then this is a loop, so it'll basically be 160 degree water. It'll come across out to the so the other thing this boiler will do is it'll feed the coil in the air handler. So 90% of the time it will be done through the heat pump outside, but on those really cold days where it needs additional heating, this loop that comes up through this pump across here and down, it'll eventually feed into the coil in this air handler. And so like I say, it will provide that additional heat that the heat pump requires in those really cold days, the minus 30 degree days, minus 30 degrees Celsius days. So yeah, so that's what that will do. So that was that additional set of pipes that go up. One's the supply, the other's the return. So basically back to this, it'll come down through this section here, feed the one set of pumps over to the air handler, the other will go down. So it'll add the mixing valve because we want to step it down. You don't want 160 degree water going through your floor system. So the mixing valve, they'll set this to about, I think about 110 degrees is what you want in your floor. And so through that pump, it'll come down and then into the red or the supply side of the manifold. It'll go through the floor, the concrete, all of the tubes, and then return on the return side, or the blue side, the cooler side. So probably somewhere in the range of 20 degree difference. So if it goes out 110 in the floor, the expectation is that it'll come back around 90 degrees. And so that'll fluctuate slightly based on the day or whatever the coldest day. But anyways, the return comes back up through, and so some of it would go back into the mixing to step that temperature down, and the rest would come back into this loop, back onto the cold side or the cooler side of the boiler, and then just cycle through. And so similar to the other loop here that feeds the tank, the holding tank. So again, supply and return into the tank here. So, and this is like a super insulated 42 gallon or 160 liter tank. And this will, like I say, provide us all of the necessary domestic hot water, you know, washing your hands, showers, etc. And so yeah, that's the heating system and domestic hot water in a nutshell. But yeah, like a super clean install. It looks great with all of the copper. I've seen this done with PEX, and maybe it looks good on day one, but as the PEX heats and heats and cools, it expands and contracts, and so then those lines are no longer straight. You see sagging and things like that. So I'm glad they've done it all in the copper, all quality materials. The other thing we haven't talked about is that this is a like an auto feeder, basically, roughly 2 gallons, and so this will add we'll have a bit of glycol water mix for the solution in the floor, and so this will just add that along with the expansion tank. So this will just add a little bit of water in case there's any evaporation, etc., because it's basically a closed loop system. And so this will add liquid to it over time as the seasons change, expansion, contraction, you get a little bit of evaporation, so to speak, and stuff. And then there's also the air bleeder. So yeah, that's how you get air out of the system over time as well. So yeah, it's looking great. It's coming along. Like I say, the holding tank there, super insulated. And we've got our little well pump expansion tank as well. And right now just a sediment filter. We haven't had the well tested yet, but we will do that. And then if we need to include a water softener or whatever, we've got space for that over there. These are for the HRV system, so that's supply and return. That still has to get done. And the coil line sets have to get run outside, and the heat pump set up out there. But yeah, it's coming along. It's looking really good, and I'm excited for it, and I can't wait to fire this system up and have heat in the building at some point. But anyways, there's a quick update. And so I'll give you a further update as we get this complete and yeah, fire it up and things like that. So you can see that this isn't a DIY type of system. This is pretty complex, and that's where I wanted to hire it out and have a professional do it, and yeah, have it done right, sized properly, and so yeah. Anyways, we'll check in with you in a bit. update on the electrical. So the other night, I was after dinner, I wired up the pot lights that are in the front entryway. So we've got 4 lights here, 2 over in this area towards the bathroom and the closet, and then did the 6 here in the laundry room. So that's all done. So that's the lighting in this section here. So we've got that taken care of. And so then yesterday we did the great room here. So these lights, so there's 16 in total. So four in this bay, and then we skip 2 bays, another 4, skip 2 bays, another 4, skip 2 bays, and then another 4 lights. There'll be a chandelier. I still need to mount the box up there for that and tidy up some of the wiring here. I just wanted to get the layout. So we measured out and kind of figured out the layout and put a little spray paint dots on the floor here so we could see how that's going to look. And we had to move all of the material back into the bedroom there, set up the scaffolding. So just all of the prep and measuring and marking, figuring out, that takes a lot of time, setting up the scaffold, and then, you know, installing the pot lights isn't that big of a deal. You also saw we were measuring out and cutting all of the sections of small bits of wire, and kind of did all that on the floor here and stripped it and got it ready so that when I'm up there on the scaffolding, I'm basically just putting the wires in the box, putting a screw on the truss, and then hanging the pot light or the box to it. So not spending too much time up there, or at least that's the goal anyways. So yeah, I just have to secure where it meets the peak. The wire's just kind of dangling there just as it runs from one to the other. So I just need to go up and secure it up at the peak there, so that when we do drywall or whatever we're doing on the ceiling here, that it's not in the way. So I'll do that this morning. We'll secure the last little bit of wiring up there, and then I just need to run my 3-way. We had to I was out of the 3 gang boxes, so we got that last night, so that I can run the 3-way from here over to this switch here, because we want to be able to turn it on from the bedroom or from the front entry or from the stairs for that matter. So you'd be able to turn the switch on here and then have the lights on in the great room here. So yeah, need to knock that off, get that complete, and then we're going to move on to the kitchen. So we've already got the scaffolding set up here, kitchen and the dining room. So another tall ceiling. So we've, you can see the spray paint on the floor here, the dots roughly where we want pot lights, and then the axis for the chandelier. So chandelier will go way up there. So almost 17 feet. So yeah, just working our way. So here's the other X for this chandelier here. So we need to mount that box. So yeah, we'll get that sorted out today. So let's get to it. Okay, quick update. I know we haven't posted much lately. It's just been busy in terms of trying to get things done, and it's just little things that haven't really filmed. Mostly the wiring. So we've got the whole house wired now. So Catherine and I were busy over the last few weeks doing all of that. So here we are in the kitchen. One last thing. So I had, so as part of where we live is in Ontario, province of Ontario in Canada. And one of the items as part of the Ontario Building Code is one of the items that isn't covered is the electrical. Electrical is done by a separate governing body, and that's the ESA, or the Electrical Safety Authority. And so they have separate permits, so you have to pull a separate permit with the ESA, and you have to have inspected any work that's any electrical work that's done has to be inspected. So the ESA inspector was out today, and so it all looks good. One thing that he did note, so we are having a gas or propane, because we're on propane here, not natural gas, but a propane stove. And so because it could potentially be removed if you ever sell the house, and it's not like fixed into the cabinetry or anything, that because it's like a freestanding stove, one of the items I have to do is put a 8 gauge wire with a 40 amp breaker for a stove electric plug. So I just mounted this box here and drilled the hole. So that was one of the items that I didn't have addressed. So other than that, things are good with the electrical inspection. And so I do need to run that 8 gauge wire back to the panel, but everything else is good. For kitchen plugs, only 2 plugs per circuit. So I've got 2 plugs there. Originally I had, well, you can see it here, I had one more plug here. So I removed that plug in order to be compliant. Only 2 plugs on a circuit. And so then we've got 2 more plugs right here on this circuit, and then 2 plugs here on that circuit. So 3 kitchen plug circuits for a total of 6 plugs. So that's one of the items that I needed to address. So I have to get 8 gauge wire, but I'll get that and take care of that. But other than that, everything's done. The guys started prepping for the spray foam insulation now that we've got all of the wiring all done, and they actually started spraying some of the roof here and over there, just a first pass. So that section is done there, a little bit here. So most of the day was spent prepping, covering all the windows. They put plastic down everywhere, that kind of stuff. So yeah, but yeah, like spray foamed that section. So it's basically a first pass. It'll be 5 inches of spray foam on the ceiling. So we're basically doing the whole house in spray foam. So I got the bathroom fan up there. It's already plumbed outside with the 6-inch insulated duct. So that's all done. But yeah, they've put the plastic on all the windows to protect the windows and everything. And so yeah, things are moving along here. So I know it hasn't been easily recorded it on video, so that's why I haven't really posted anything. And but yeah, like we did all the wiring, you know, to mount all the pot lights up top there and run all the wiring. It's a lot of work and very time consuming, tedious work, but and not really exciting to film, so that's why we haven't really shown too much of that. But as I say, it's all wired, all ready to go. So downstairs, it's all done as well, all the wiring. So we got all our switches, all the pot lights mounted, sconces on the walls, all of that good stuff. So yeah, lots happening in terms of the rooms here, in terms of all the wiring. All of the plumbing is done, so that was all roughed in, inspected, the plumbing, the HVAC, and the framing inspection. So those 3 inspections by the building code, they're all done. So the guys were just finishing up the last little bit of the in-floor heating, getting the boiler hooked up, running the gas, final little bit of the controls to control the pumps. So hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to turn on the boiler. We got the water run throughout the house, so that was turned on. So here you can see I got all the circuits into the panel. I got 3 left to do. So these 3, and then obviously the stove. So the stove has to run into the panel as well, even though we're not going to use it because we're going to have the gas stove, not an electric stove. But yeah. What else did we do? Oh, all of the Cat 6 cable, Ethernet cable for TV, cameras, all that good stuff. So that's all been run. Again, not very exciting stuff, so haven't really filmed that. But yeah, all down here in the gym, all the plugs, all the pot lights and everything. So lots of wire. We use lots of wire here. So I think it was 9 spools of 150 meters of the 14.2 wire. I can't remember how many, maybe 2 spools of the 14.3 wire for any of the 3-way switches. So all of these switches, so when you're first coming in the bedroom, you know, a switch to turn on the pot lights or sconces here, and then by the bed, so the bed will be here. So again, 3 wire here for the 3-way switches. Those are basically the control wire between the switches. So each bedroom kind of has that. So a bunch of 14.3 wire was used for that. There's the Cat 6 cable. So I do have a couple spools left over of wire, but yeah. So anyways, that's the update. So hopefully tomorrow we get the boiler fired up and turn on the in-floor heating. Starting to get chilly at night here, getting down close to 0 Celsius. So almost at the freezing point. But yeah, excited to get that floor warmed up in the basement, and then hopefully a lot of the heat will radiate up, and hopefully Wednesday. So today's Monday. Wednesday the guys will be back to do the spray foam, and they'll get probably three or 4 days they need to finish the roof. because it's a pretty complicated roof and a lot of peaks and, you know, climbing through all of the trusses and things like that. So you kind of do it in lifts as well. You know, you spray, I don't know, inch or two at a time. And so we need 5 inches. So probably at least 2, maybe 3 lifts that they have to do. So, yeah, exciting. We're looking forward to getting the spray foam done, the heat on, and then we can start working on the inside here. So we were doing some tile shopping, starting to look at tiles for the bathrooms, the front hall. This will be tile in here as well. So we'll probably start with the basement bathroom and get that finished up. So it would be nice to have hot water. It's hard to shower outside now, so it would be nice to shower inside with hot water. So we'll get that going in the next few weeks after the spray foam guys are finished. And yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to provide some more content coming, at least more exciting stuff, like pulling wire and stuff like that. It's not very exciting, but it does take a lot of time, and so that's what we've been up to. So quick update there. So we'll see you in the next video. Okay, quick update on the boiler and the in-floor heating. So we've got it all filled. So it took 5 of these 15-liter. Well, here I got about that much left of 15 liters of this last one. So 4 other ones filled it, along with one I guess 5-gallon pail of glycol. So what's that? Total of, say, even if that's 10 of the 15 liters, so that's 70 liters of distilled water. So we used distilled water to fill up the closed loop in the in-floor, along with one of the 5-gallon, so that's 20 liters of this glycol solution. So they say roughly a 5-to-1 ratio. So that's what we've got there. So in the floor, it's and then the closed loop here of the piping. So in total, we've got about 90 liters. So 70 liters of water and 20 liters of the glycol solution in the PEX floor of the hydronic system. And so we've got 6 loops, and they're all, well, I'm going to say roughly 250 feet of 1/2-inch PEX. You know, some might be 260, some might be 240, but on average 250 feet, and so 6 loops of that. So I think we finally got all of the air out of the system. You can hear this one pump. Every once in a while you'll hear it kind of slowly try and release some air. I don't know how exactly it does that, but I'm told that on low setting over time it will release some of the air. Plus we've got these bleeder valves, and then on the Wiesmann tank up at the top there's another kind of bleeder valve, along with the pressure relief valve that comes down here. The tank puts out drain, and so it runs through this kind of I guess it's a neutralizer in terms of ensuring that the drain is not too acidic before it goes into the floor, back out over to our septic system. So you want to kind of neutralize the drain water because I guess it's a little acidic. So there you can hear that kind of air movement or air bubbles, I guess, if you will, as part of the flow of the water. So it's nice. We can see that it's in heating mode, burner modulation, so it's like 30% of the full capacity is running right now to heat the water. So basically it comes out of so there's two sides of this. There's the domestic hot water that would flow out of this and return into this loop, and that runs across over here to the holding tank. And so that's I think a 40 gallon, what does it say here, 42 US gallon or 160 liter. So that's basically a holding tank. So basically the domestic hot water will get heated by the boiler and then run over to the holding tank here. So that's that set of loops. The other loop is the heating loop, and so it comes off of here. The hot comes through the manifold here, comes up through this section here. This is kind of like the heating where it steps it down. So the output for the boiler is set at 160. So you can see there, set point 160 degree Fahrenheit for the water. And so that's too hot for the in-floor heating. So this mixing valve is adjustable, and you can fine tune it to step it down. And so ideally you want to be about 110. Right now we're about 100 and just a little less than 120. And so we can fine tune that over time once we get all of the air out. And so basically that mixing valve then goes up to the pump. This is the pump that, here you can just hear a little bit of the air movement, if you will, I guess. And so the pump over time will slowly release that air, I guess, is the idea. Anyways, so it goes up, back down here, and then into the PEX manifold. And at this point, you can see it's based on this 110. So we're hitting the 110 right here. So I guess the mixing valve, you know, a little high, but by the time it gets down here, it's roughly 110. And so it runs from there through the PEX lines. So these are the supply, and then the return is here. These have this manifold, so you pop these red plastic things off, and you can adjust your flow rate. So you turn this dial up and down, and then you put this back on to lock it down. Basically right now we just have them all fully open, and then on the return side there's also this, I guess, the ability to dial in or adjust the flow rate. And I think that's more if you have different heating zones and you want to adjust them differently. Whereas here in the basement, you know, it's just going to be all open, all on. So roughly try to keep it all of the same temperature. And so anyways, right now we can see that
the return water is roughly 60 degrees. And so yeah, quite a difference between 60 and 110 in terms of the return water. And that's just because we've fired up the system and it's going to slowly heat up the slab over time. And then eventually these two numbers will, I don't know what the spread is, maybe 20 degrees differently. So if it's going out at 110, ideally we want it to return at 90, you know. So anyways, we'll let this run for a few days and see how it goes. But anyways, the return comes up, and again, the cold water or the cooler water from the return, it goes into the mixing valve to adjust that temperature to try and keep it at that 110 degrees or so. And then the return comes down through here and then back into the boiler. So it's a closed loop system, and so that's why we use the distilled water and glycol solution. And so you feed it into here, and this is a mini feed that monitors the pressure, and you can adjust the pressure up or down. And so as we added the distilled water and glycol into here, it would feed up through, goes through this expansion tank. And again, this is kind of a bleeder system as well. And so it flows up and then back down into here. So basically that's how you introduce water into the system as part of this closed loop. So the domestic hot water and the boiler in-floor heating, they do not mix, and that's why you can add the glycol and distilled water to the heating side of the closed loop, and it won't affect your domestic hot water for, you know, your showers and washing your hands, etc. And so the other side of the boiler, it also feeds eventually the air handler. We don't have that hooked up yet, but eventually this other pump and these loops here, they come across here, and eventually we'll go over into this air handler, so maybe easier to see from this side. And so the hot and or the supply and return coils here, and inside here's the coil, and so it would be hot water, and then the air would blow across that coil and produce your hot air. And again, that would be your supplemental heat or forced air as a typical system, but instead of having a I guess some sort of gas furnace that typically most have, this has just the coil, so that's why it's referred to as just an air handler. So the blowing of the motor of the air across that coil that's fed from the boiler produces your hot air, and then all of the standard ductwork would run it throughout the system or throughout the house there. But again, that's not hooked up yet. But anyways, just the floor heating is done and running, and so then this is the brains behind it. So 2 zones. So zone 1 is the in-floor heating, and then the zone 2 would be the air handler side of things. So that's kind of the system in a nutshell. So I've got most of the other side is the electrical. So most of the electrical circuits are run. I've got a few left that still have to get into the panel. I need to pick up a couple more breakers. I didn't have the kitchen plugs need 20 amp breakers. I didn't have
enough 20. I've got 120 here, so I need another 20 amp breaker for that. Then I can put those in. But other than that, yeah, it's a pretty great looking installation. I think the guys did a fabulous job on this setup. And now that it's actually running, it's fantastic. So slowly heating up the floor. So here's one of the jugs. That's the glycol. So here's the other 4 jugs. We had an extra glycol just in case we needed it. We weren't sure how much liquid we were going to need, but so these guys are all empty. So that's all ready for recycling. So we just put a temporary thermostat up here. So right now it's 55 degrees. We got it set to heat at 60. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, starting to feel a little warmer in here, and which is nice because it's getting cold out. We're hitting negative temperatures overnight, and so it'll be nice to have the heat. The guys are supposed to be here later today to start the spray foam. So upstairs here, so they're going to start with the roof. So they did a little bit the other day. They had to go do another job, and then coming back to do ours. So hopefully they can get to this the rest of the week. And yeah, it's coming along. So that's the update for today. We'll see you soon.